Hi there, welcome back to the Jetboat project. This is going to be another series of working on the aluminum hull, and what we're going to be doing for this time around is strengthening it so it'll handle the additional power of the new jet ski engine. Should be about 110 horsepower, so we need to put some additional supports in the bottom, run them back to the transom. So I'll show you what we're planning to do for that. So we have a piece of long 1x4 tubing here, and we're going to plan on running that on each side of the jet ski hull opening and all the way up until it reaches these front runners. So there'll be nice solid strength supports all the way to the back. So right along the transom here, we're going to put a piece of 1x4 across the top, and then we'll do some kind of beefier vertical supports, and then I intend to run a diagonal support from this top 1x4 down to where it runs into this 1x, which will be down here at the base. So that's going to take all this power that's in the back and propel it down into the hull. Alright, so that's going to take a little prep work because we're going to cut out each of these ribs. We're going to cut back about 4 inches. So that one. And then when I get up to these shorter ribs, I don't know if you can see them. These ones are shorter. I don't think I want to cut those out, but I think these I'll just keep whole and notch the bottom of this to sit down. All right, well, let's get to work on it. Now I'm coming to this front rib of the boat right here. See how close that is to the bulkhead here? I mean, there's not much leg room there. I think I want the seat to be further back, so we're gonna get that out of the way. And then here you can see where these two front struts end. Get out of here. That is fitting pretty good. That should push down. These are decent on this side. Got a little fitting. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Okay, just a little bit of fine tuning, but that's close. I'll have to do a lot of cleanup and tack it in a few spots then. All right, grinding is no fun, but we got that pretty well cleaned up. It's looking pretty good overall. We'll do a little bit more cleaning on it and then do some attaching. Alright, I just did a bunch of welding and grinding on this first side, and I have more to go, but it's starting to come together. So I did run out of wire. I went through 2 of the small spools so far, and I think I'm going to buy about 3 more for the project. So hopefully that'll be enough. I like how the 030 burns on a little bit better than the 035, so I think I'm going to buy spools of 030 and keep using that. New tool alert. All right, we all love our new tools for projects. I picked up this little 1/2-inch belt sander. I was at Hobo Freight today picking up some other stuff, and I saw this, and there's a little spot here that would be really hard to get cleaned up by any other means. I'm trying to show you what I'm talking about. So there's this channel that I want to slide back into right in there and get cleaned up. So let's hope this tool's a ticket. It wasn't too expensive, and hey, who doesn't love having a new tool to use? So we'll try it out. Okay, that seems pretty good overall. Belt popped off a couple times, but I think if you're just a little more gentle with it, don't try to force it, don't try to go too fast. That works pretty good. That saved a lot of trying to sand in there or grind in there by hand. So I will give that a thumbs up. I think that was around 50 or 60 bucks. Alright, needs cleaned up a little bit more, but it's getting there. For my angle supports that I want to do from here coming down, I need to set them outside of where the jet ski sits. So that comes to about this line right in here, and then I need to plan for the thickness of this. So I need to cut some of this support out on both sides, and then I will weld this support back into the side of this. Alright, well let's work on that for a few minutes. Yeah, hit that. So I have this 2-inch square tubing. I think I'm going to mount a section of it right here, and that will give a surface for this this kind of swim platform, this big back deck to mount on. And it'll stiffen this up a little bit, give it more structure this way. And when I put in my diagonal supports, it'll give me a little bit more to tie in and notch around a diagonal support there. So I think it's a good idea. It's going to help me out down the road. Not going to add too much weight, it's pretty light. We don't want to cut that side yet because that represents this corner. So it's actually going to get notched. You know, there'll be something like this going on, over and down. So we'll have to fit that. That's the angle that our tube is sitting at. I just need to find my little square cutoff of that tube. Where did I put it? That's half the battle, right? Finding the stuff that you set down in your messy shop. I need to do a cleanup around here. Aha. There it is. Alright, let's see how close it fits. Come on, baby. Alright, let's see. Pretty good overall for a first cut. And before we shave it, we're going to trace it on the other piece. Okay. Now we can replicate that easily. Alright, got a little bit of shaving on that side. Alright. That is fitted nice now. Yeah, she's fitting pretty good. So, I mean, that's why woodworking is a lot nicer, right? You could have just shaved that off with your utility knife, but you can't do that with metal, unfortunately. just wanted to mention too, it is a very fine line of what heat you use when you weld. You want to be welding enough, hot enough to melt the metal, but not blow a hole through it. So it's a fine line between, sometimes I would get to a spot where I'd have to drop down to a lesser setting, fill it in a little bit, and continue. But you want to go nice and hot though. Make sure you're melting both sides when you're running your bead. So that's pretty much the structure for the back. We're going to put some cross supports in here to hold the top deck, and that should stiffen it up side to side. But we don't know exactly where we want to put them front to back until we have the motor in place. So we'll wait to do that. But here we go. Here's a look at what we have. I have a little more welding to finish up front. Front of that bulkhead, that's kind of the stopping point right now. All right. And next is going to be fitting the jet ski hull into the boat hull. So that's going to be fun. Let's see what happens.